just for a quick recap, right? The way performance testing happens, if you have already been doing testing, you would very well know that we will get involved maybe late in the development life cycle. When the development is almost completed, we will get involved to do the scripting and then execution, and then we'll go for the reporting and analysis, right? But when it comes to engineering, the role in the project is going to be from the beginning of your development, or even before that, right? As Arun sir mentioned, right from your requirement stage, design, development, testing, and production. So either it is going to be an agile or it is going to be a waterfall. From the requirement gathering till it goes to production, and even in the production as well, post production as well, you're going to have the performance engineer doing various activity across the life cycle, right? To mention a few, see, when your business analyst, your product owners define the requirements, right? The requirements in terms of what functionalities are required, what non-functional requirements are has to be met, who are your end users, what is their plan for expansion. All these requirements, when it is going to get defined by your product owners, we as a performance engineer also will get involved to understand both the functional and the non-functional requirements, right? Um, the developers are the architects, um, will probably look into the your functional requirements in detail. May not be they will give full focus to the non-functional requirements, right? But if the non-functional requirements are not properly analyzed and then um, uh, considered as part of your design, then it's going to be very too late when we come to a testing at the late stage. If your designs are not done as per the needs of your non-functional requirement, correcting that software at the end is going to be too much costly, right? So our perform as a performance engineer role, again depending upon the experience, right? If you are going to have a 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year experience, you as a performance engineer might not get too much involved in design reviews or in the during the requirement stage of your non-functional requirement, right? But mostly from the moment the application is getting developed, your APIs are getting developed, your UI is getting developed. From that stage, you will get involved entirely as the application gets developed, right? More and more you get experience, more and more you be part of this performance engineering activity, then you will be eventually also be part of the design reviews and giving feedback to your architects based on the non-functional requirement given by your product owners, right? Again, even in the production as well, right? One is the shift left, where you will get involved before the testing happens, which is a shift left, and the shift right is where when it goes to production also, you have to constantly look into the production in terms of traffic, in terms of the way the response times are going to be, the way the performance is going to be, your how the resources are consumed, your capacity of your servers, to do the real user monitoring, to from a synthetic monitoring, all these things also you will be part of your post production as well. Okay, I think some of you says that my voice is breaking in middle. Some of them says it is clear. I'll continue. If you still have a problem, I can try to probably log out and log in, or even if you can just do log out and log in, that can also help. Right? Yeah, just message me if you still have a problem. Okay. Yeah. So what we will do is the way we are going to learn this engineering is we are going to think ourselves as a performance engineer, and we are going to uh, perform certain activity when application is going to get developed, right? Say for example, if you're going to be a part of a project, a new application is getting developed. you will be part of the project, and then what you will do from the day one, right? Working along with the developers, as a UI is getting developed or as an API is getting developed, what are the various activities that you will do is what we will get started from a engineering, right? Before going to that part, I would wanted to you to just quickly look into the few of the important things that I would need you to be aware of, and also to make sure that you have that in your laptop so that you can practice whenever you get time during the weekday or in the weekend daytime as well, right? um, so what I want is bare minimum, right? All the softwares, all the tool, whichever we are going to use it, in the course you would be able to install and practice on your own. Okay. Few are open source, few are commercial. Even if it is going to be commercial, you would be still able to go and install it with the trial licenses, right? Pretty much everything, whatever we use, you will be able to install it, you will be able to use it. Okay. Bare minimum what I want is you to for you to get started from tomorrow or a day after, right? In your laptop, we want you to install the Java can be Java 8 or Java 11. Anything is okay, right? Preferably Java 8 or Java 11, so that the compatibility is going to be a little easy. Even if it is not, that is still fine. Okay. And I need a Tomcat and a Chrome browser, of course, right? These are the three things which you need it from a day one. When I say day one, as soon as possible, tomorrow or day after, right? Java, Tomcat, and of course Chrome browser, you might already have it. Okay. Eclipse and other few things, it is good to have it. If you can install it, you can also I'll be providing you the access to download all these softwares as well. You might have whoever registered, right, already registered, made the payment for the course, you might have already got the access to my drive, right? Today Isha would have given it. Check your emails. If not, they might give it tomorrow morning. Okay. So from here, you would be able to download all the artifacts that would be required for you to um, for you to practice it post the every day. Say for today, if I do something, tomorrow you should be able to download these things from here, and then you should be able to practice. For example, the response time analysis, right? If I probably today, tomorrow, we'll be looking into the response time analysis, server-side profiling using JProfiler, right? The application what I would be using is let me go to my application as well. Okay. um, the war file, right? The Java application, whatever we are going to use it, the corresponding war files, I'll be giving it to you in the folder, right? For every problems or for every aspect, like memory profiling or thread analysis or for your response time issues, right? For every analysis or every topics, I would be giving a corresponding war file. There's going to be only one application called e-library application, but I would have created issues on the application so that there will be a response time problem, there will be memory problem, there will be a thread problem. So corresponding war file will be uploaded to the this corresponding response time folder or a memory folder. What you need to do is, I'll just do the way you have to do it. Okay, you come to the your drive, which you will get an access, and then, for example, if you wanted to practice response time analysis, your server side profiling for your response time debugging, right? You come here, okay, and then you come to the this folder 2023 war file, and then you download this. Say for example, no DB call. I'll just download it. Okay, and then you also need to, as part of the setup, right? As part of your Java and Tomcat is the two things I want you to do it, download and install, right? Tomcat also, you can probably download it from my drive itself. If you can download it from internet, or you can download it from the drive as well. If you come here, I will have something called Tomcat in the folder as well. If it is not, I'll upload it right away. Yeah, it is there. This Tomcat new.zip, right? You can download it. You download this, and then once you download it, it will be a zip file. Okay, you just extract it so that you will get a folder like this, tomcat-new t. Then open the Tomcat folder. See, basic setup is what I'm telling for you to start your practice, right? One is your Java. Java, if you mostly it will be there in your machine. If it is not, you can download the Java from Oracle site and then install it. Very easy installation. Okay, install it. And then install the Tomcat. Uh, when I say install the Tomcat, you're going to download the Tomcat folder, extract it, and you'll get this folder like this. Okay, and then the go to the web apps folder. Okay, in the web apps folder, you copy the war file which you would have downloaded from my drive, right? For the response time analysis, I told that there is a folder from which you need to go and download, right? From there, you would have downloaded this. This is a war file which I downloaded. Okay, e-library no db call. Copy this and then put it inside the web app folder. I'll delete this. Okay, it will be empty or whatever it is there. Delete it and paste it. Okay, and then rename this. Okay, you can just follow whatever I'm saying so that you can repeat it in your laptop in a similar way. Just replace this. Okay, very simple steps. We're not going to do any too many technical thing to start doing this deployment. Very simple things. Download the war file, download the Tomcat, and in the web apps folder, copy this war file. Okay, just remember the war file name is ELS caps. Okay, just remember so that you don't make this mistake. ELS caps e library dot war. Okay, once you copied this war file, okay, go to the bin. Okay, just do few changes. Okay, this recording will be available for you. They might give the access to you tomorrow morning or maybe by noon, so that you can look into this video as well. When you do this step, you can refer this to the video as well. Okay, open this file catalan.bat file. Okay, yeah. So once you open this in any your notepad or notepad plus plus, okay, in the top everything will be a comment. If you come down, okay, you will have these sections. Okay, so here for now there are multiple things available for various purpose. Okay, you can pretty much delete everything. Okay, apart from the first line. For now, delete everything. Okay, just add this one line which is required for your heap. Okay, we will talk about the heap configuration, this min, max, and all later. But this is a heap configuration that has to be there in your Tomcat. Okay, min as something, max as something. You can give whatever number you want. For now, just start with small number since we are not going to do any load testing. Rather, we are going to give just a minimum heap, maximum heap. Right? This alone have it and then save it. Okay, I'll close it. I won't save it because I need other things for other activity. But for you, you just need this one line. This is one change, you will do it. Okay, next is you go to the configuration file. Okay, in the Tomcat, in the configuration file, here open this server.xml. Okay, in the server.xml, you will have the port as 8083. Okay, if you want to change this port to 8080 or 8081 or 8082, it's up to you. Okay, whichever port you want your application to be available, you can change it or just leave it as it is. Okay, I'm just telling you, in case when you start the Tomcat, if you see an error called uh, port is already binded, right? There will be something coming out saying that this port is already in use. That in that case, you go and change it to 8084 or 8081 or 8082. If not, you can just leave it. No other changes required. Okay, that's it. Just two things, whatever I told, right? And then go and start your go to the bin, click the startup. Okay, so once you started the Tomcat, it will probably take a couple of seconds to do the deployment. Um, so once the Tomcat is started and then your deployment is completed, right? In the last line, it will say that it has deployed the war file successfully. Wait until that message. See, this is setting up your environment. We are going to use a Java application, e-library application for our engineering activity, right? So this is the application which we will use. So you download the war file, download the Tomcat, and then do these changes so that the application under test, the e-library application will work in your laptop itself. Okay, so it says that the server is started in 4825 milliseconds. Once you get this message, means that your Tomcat is started and the deployment is completed. To confirm whether the deployment is completed or not, go to the web app folder wherever you copy that war file, right? Here you will see a folder getting created. You copied only the .war. Okay, when Tomcat is getting started, what it will do is it will extract all the content from war. You think of war as a zip. Okay, Tomcat will extract all the files from this war file, and then it will create this folder and it will copy everything here, all your HTML files and all your classes, Java classes, right? All these Java class files, right? That is part of the war file will get extracted and then it will get copied here. So you just make sure that once you open the e-library file, just make sure that all these admin, homepage, index.html, all these things are here along with the your web.inf files. If it is there, which means your deployment is completed properly. And then go to your browser, okay, and then type in localhost because it is running in your in your laptop, right? It is a localhost, followed by 8083, followed by e-library. E-library is our application. This folder name is e-library, right? This should match with the your folder name, e caps, l caps, okay, and then enter. You will get this home page. Okay, so in the home page, you go and type in the user ID as admin@jtp.com and then admin123. That is a default password for admin login. There are two logins in this application. One is the admin login, another one is the library login. I'll do both the login anyway. So this application has two logins, admin login and library login. I'm doing admin login now. So once I do an admin login, there will be few functionalities. Similarly, as a librarian, if I'm going to login, there will be few functionalities, right? So as an admin, I would be able to go and add a librarian, and I would be able to look into the existing librarians as well. Okay, that's an administrative functionality, right? You should be able to view the existing librarian and the add a new librarian as well. Okay, I'll just copy this email so that I can also log in as a librarian. Okay, I'll do a logout and then type in this. Okay, so when you have this application deployed and then once the server is started, you would be able to log in as an admin login immediately. Okay, but librarian login, for you to log in as a librarian, right? Then you would need to add the librarian. Once you go into the admin login, right? You have to add a librarian. When you add a librarian, the data will get saved in your DB. We use a MySQL DB for this application. Okay, so the MySQL DB has to be set up for you to for the functionalities like add librarian, and then wherever the data is involved, right? To look into the book, view book, add book, all these data you have to get it in the DB. Okay, I'll tell you one by one. You don't need to worry about the DB connection for now. For now, at least for 1 or 2 days, don't worry about the DB. I'll tell you how to set up the DB as well little later. For now, from a functionality perspective, for this e-library application is a Java application with admin login, librarian login. Admin login has two functionalities: view librarian and add librarian. And once you log in as a librarian, you have this add book, view book, issue book. So this is a sample application with which you will be able to play around and do a lot of other various engineering activity, right? Now, for a day or two, just stick on to the admin login alone. Since the DB is not set up for you, okay, I'll probably cover that as well tomorrow, so that you will have a complete functionality available in your machine. Okay, for now, just stick on to admin login. Okay, so you would be able to go and log into this, and then do this view librarian add though the view librarian add librarian might fail, that is still okay, right? At least for now, just have the login functionality working for you. Once that is done, probably tomorrow at the end, I'll also help you with the DB setup, MySQL setup. It's again very simple. It won't take more than 5-10 minutes for you to set up in your machine. Okay, so this is something required in your mission. Okay, which is this is what we are going to use it in our daily sessions. So have this available in your laptop. This is a bare minimum. We will be reading many other softwares, many other tools, but just make sure that you at least have Java in your machine, Tomcat, the sample Java application, whatever I give, um, and then of course your Chrome browser. Okay, if you are interested, okay, if you wanted to have the code for this e-library application, okay, I can also provide you a URL from where you can download this e-library application. Okay, so this e-library application, if you see here, okay, there are I'll probably spend some time, I don't know whether tomorrow or later also, to explain you a structure of Java project. What is package, what is class, what is method. That is something important for you. If one of you or some of you are already good in Java, you might already know it, right? If not, you as a performance engineer will go and talk to the developer and tell about, say, earlier when you were a performance tester, right? You just go and tell there is a problem in my application, response time is very high, it is the application is slow, my there are a lot of failures in my LoadRunner report, um, 95th percentile is more than SLA. That is what you go and report it, right? Now, as a performance engineer, you're going to go and say, you're going to find a problem in their code. You're going to say your method is having a problem, your object is having a leak, right? There is a thread issue. So you're going to talk about more and more about the code to a developer, right? Even when we go and just report saying that response time is high or there are failures, more often we get a response from developers saying that everything is good from their application end. They will question us on the test data, they will question us on the script, right? We always have this challenge. Now when we go and talk about and say that your code is having an issue, your method is having an issue, right? They will always try to justify from their end, right? So we should be confident, and first of all, we should be confident to go and talk to a developer, say that there is a problem and here is a problem, right? So for that, you should not just do a black box analysis, right? You should know what you're talking about. When you talk about a method, when you talk about a object, when you talk about a package, you should know what it is, right? Maybe from that angle, I will try to cover few things more from a Java project, how to create a Java project, how to create few programs, what is class, what is package, what is method. That is that basics of Java. You're not going to be a developer, But if you start creating few programs on your own and compile it and run it, it is not a rocket science, right? It's very simple. If you can go on more of a template way, we can go and learn Java, so that you can go on. When you do engineering, it's all it's all about finding a problem in the code, right? So if you can do an hands-on and then get that basic idea about how a developer will do a program, it will give you a lot more confidence in doing this activity and also going and talk to the developer. I'll try to probably see when I can pitch in that basics of Java programming, okay, for a performance engineer, for us to get that basics. I'll try to see when I can do that, maybe tomorrow or the next weekend. Okay, fine. Coming back, if you are interested in setting up this project in your machine, you need an Eclipse. Okay, so download the Eclipse from the internet. Okay, and then the package will be available. The code is also available. I'll I'll tell you where it is available. You can go to my drive again. In the drive, you go to this something called softwares and link. There's Excel sheet. Okay, open this Excel sheet. Okay, here I would have given most of the things which we are going to again talk about, right? Either the software will be there in my drive, or I would have given the link to download. For example, Eclipse, right? Eclipse you can download it from here. Okay, and this e-library project, okay, you can go to this, copy this link, okay, and then download this entire Java project from this site, this e-library project, right? You can download it from this URL, okay, and then once you download it, it will be a zip. Extract it, okay, and then open the Eclipse, and then whatever I'm saying, it's not in, it's something very straightforward, right? Once you download the Eclipse, it's going to be a zip file. If you have worked on Jmeter earlier, Jmeter, you download it, it's an extract, right? You extract it, you'll get a folder. Inside that, you will have everything. Similarly, Eclipse also, once you download it, okay, you open the Eclipse. For example, my Eclipse looks like this, right? It's a folder. And if you go here, it will be like this. So open the Eclipse only if you are required, right? Somebody you don't want to go to Eclipse, if you don't want to look into the code, uh, no worries. You don't need to take that extra effort for now. You can keep it simple. If you think that I don't want to complicate things, let me just do from an engineering perspective. Let me learn all these tools, do a deployment, find out the problem. That is still fine. If somebody needs this Eclipse project, for them you have this Eclipse. Open it, okay, and then go to the file, and then open project from the file system, and then wherever you have downloaded that e-library source code, right there, you go to the directory and then say uh, import or finish. Okay, um, so this additionally is optional. If you want to do it, so that you can go and look into the all the code as well, right? The admin login, say all these Java files, right? If you go and look into your web apps folder, see from here only we created this war file, right? I would have developer, ideally they will right click it. I mean, just giving one of the way they do it, right? They will go and do all the changes, okay, and then export this to a war file. And this war file is what we will copy it to this folder. Okay, and then when you extract it, right, if you see, all these classes would be appearing here: com, java t point. These are three packages: beans, dao, servlet. If you see here in the code, you will see here beans, dao, servlet. And if you go into the servlet, all these things are admin login, delete, issue, add book, add librarian, right? If you go inside this, you will see all these class files. Okay, so you have an application, a developer creates this, all the Java files, all these packages, extract this to a WAR file. Think then extraction is like a zip file. And then when you copy this war file and start the Tomcat, everything will get extracted, and you will find this in the folder. That's how the creating a war file and then deployment works. Okay, fine. So all these things are all additional information for you. Don't worry if you don't understand anything. Um, Again, going back to that is required for you. Download Tomcat, download my war file, deploy it. Okay, and before that, make sure that Java is there in your system. To know whether Java is there or not, go to the command prompt. Okay, type in java-version. Okay, here you will see that you will get a version, Java version listed here. Okay, Java version 14 or 8. So this will ensure that yes, the Java is available in your machine. Okay. One more thing, what I want to tell you is, if you don't have a Java and if you're going to install Java in your machine, okay, once the Java is downloaded, installed, okay, go to this environment variables. Okay, type in this environmental variable in your startup menu. Okay, and then go to this environment variable. Okay, and then here you need to add couple of system variables. Your system should know where is Java, right? Because your Eclipse needs Java, your Tomcat needs Java, even Jmeter needs Java, and all these things are all Java application and needs a Java to be available in your machine wherever you're going to open that. If you open Eclipse, if Java is not there, it won't work. If you open Tomcat, if Java is not there, it won't work. Jmeter, if you open Jmeter, it won't work. Okay, so once you downloaded and install Java, you need to add this Java. You need to add this Java underscore om. Okay, so if it is not there, just click new and then type in Java and provide the path. Okay, the path for Java is till your bin directory. So in my machine, if I go to D and then go to my program files and then go to the Java, okay, and JDK 14 bin. Here I'll see the java.exe. Okay, so this java.exe. So what I'm saying is my java.exe is available in bin folder. That is what I'm telling here. In my bin folder, java.exe is there, and Java Om is your JDK, entire JDK path. So I'll just give up to this path. Java Home is your JDK, Java Development Kit Home. Okay, once you download your Java, you will get this folder in your machine as well. In the program files under the Java, you'll get it. Okay, and until this, and then one more thing is, go to the third one is path variable. Okay, open the path variable. Here again, give you these java.exe path, JDK 14 or JDK 8, whatever it is, /bin. Three things. One is your Java Om, and in the path as well, insert the bin folder. Okay, and then go and close it, and then close your command prompt also. Okay, don't verify it in the same prompt. It will not work. Close it again. Open the command prompt. Type in Java-version, and then you'll see the version here. Okay. Again, this is the prerequisite, right? Simple prerequisites. Check your Java version. If it is not there, download and install Java version. Set this environmental variables, and then download Tomcat, download the war file, deploy it. All set. Probably 10-15 minutes is what you need to spend to make sure that your machine is ready for your practice. Okay. Yeah. I'll take a pass. Any question, guys, on the setup? Any questions here? Feel free to ask. Okay. Okay, fine. Fine. Once your setup is available, once the application is working in your machine, okay, what we are going to do now is Um, okay. We will think that we are going to be in a project, okay, where development is happening. This e-library application is getting developed, okay, and you as a performance engineer is now getting get involved much early in the life cycle. So we call it as a shift left or early performance engineering, right? Whatever way people call it, um, it is more in terms of working along with the developer to make sure that the application, whatever they were developing it is also analyzed and optimized for performance. That is the objective. Right? Objective is will not go and do testing at the end. We have to analyze the performance early in the life cycle. Okay, that is the objective of a performance engineering. Okay, so two aspect you will look into it. Any application, any functionality that is getting developed, two things you need to do it. One, whether the response time is good. This is for the single user. Okay, remember all the shift left performance engineering activity is going to be single user. What you have to do, what you're going to try to do is with the single user, whether your response time is good, whether there's a way to optimize your application. With a single user, what is my memory footprint? Is there a memory leak for the functionality? That is what you would try to analyze it from a shift left perspective. Okay, so what we will do is will get started assuming that login functionality is completed, admin login is completed, it is deployed. Okay, we will take that admin login and then first we will go through the response time analysis. Okay, for the response time analysis, okay, we will go and do a 7-step approach. Okay, as I said, it's going to be a single user. Okay, you'll open your application in the browser. We are not going to use any Jmeter or LoadRunner for this. Okay, that is only meant for load testing, not for your server-side profiling. For profiling, it is always going to be one user, multiple iterations. I might do multiple times a login transaction, but only with a single user. Okay, so I will open my application in the Chrome, validate the load time. Okay, and then I'll go over looking into the developer tool to understand how the resources are getting loaded, whether the problem is with my download time or my time to first byte, and then I'll go to my I'll do one by one anyway. Okay, I think there's somebody raising a question. Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah, I have a
Mushraf.
question. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, when you refer to shift left, is it, yeah, are you referring sanity testing for the application or what?
Sorry, what is it?
When you refer to shift left, right? What do you mean? Is it like a sanity testing?
It is not a sanity testing. No, see, sanity testing or smoke testing, it is something to validate whether your environment is good, whether your scripts are good. That is a sanity or smoke test we do. Right? This is not a sanity. This is one of your main activity that you do it. Um, when it says shift left, you will be performing certain profiling testing activity before your actual testing starts. Okay, when a development is started, say as I said, right, say admin login functionality is completed, your entire application is not done. They just started creating few services, few functionalities like admin login alone is completed, right? Rest everything is not done, only login is completed. So what I'll do is I'll take the login functionality and then see whether this login is performing good with a single user.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, for memory, whether there's any leak with with the login functionality, or even with a single user, whether my response times are good. If it is not good, why it is not good, right? When we try to do this activity, when we arrest the code level problems, when we go into a load testing, right, then the problem that we might see during a load testing might not be completely with the code, might be with the capacity or the configuration. But idea to objective of doing early is try to optimize the code as much as possible, so that when you do a load testing, you will have a better application for you to do a testing. Right? That's the objective. So it is not a sanity; it is more of profiling your application, analyzing it, and optimizing it. That's a big chunk of engineering, actually. Uh, Doing all this much early.
Okay.
Yeah, you will understand once we start doing this, right? You will understand
Sure.
what it is exactly.
Okay, sure. Thanks.
Yeah, yeah. So so we'll start with the from a browser side. We will analyze certain things, and this is not a client side performance. This is not a client. This is kind of a little bit kind of a client side, but client side performance or optimization is a detailed one which we'll cover it later. Okay. From a response time analysis, we will still use a developer tool. We'll still look into the client side response time to understand what is your time to first byte and the download time, and then we'll go and look into in your web server logs as well. Here we are using Tomcat. We'll go and check what your server says from a response time perspective. Your browser will say something, your server will say a different thing. So to analyze it, we'll look into the from a browser perspective, and then we will validate that in the server log. And then if it still we see that yes, there's a problem with the server side, then we go and use the tools like JProfiler to profile your code. Okay, so those are 1, 2, 3, 7 step. We will do it from a response time analysis. We'll go through one by one anyway. Okay, or I'll take a pass here. If you guys have any other questions with respect to course content or the whatever we have seen it today, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Okay, fine. Then I'll proceed if there is no questions. Okay. Um, okay. Let me go and open the browser again with the e-library application. Okay. I'll log out. I'll log this out. Okay. I'll open my developer tool. Control Shift I, or you can also go here and then go to the tools and open the developer tools. Okay. Okay. So the developer tool, I'm going to first I'm going to again type my login and then admin 123. Okay. Go to the your network tab. Okay. In the developer tool, you will have elements, console, source, network. Go to the network tab. Okay. And have this all enabled. Okay. So the way the network tab is going to work is when you're going to launch the URL, whatever that request goes to your server, everything will be captured here. Okay. It will have your JavaScript, style sheets, images, media, document, font, everything will be captured. So this all will list down all the resources in this tab in this page. Okay. So do a after user password, do a login. Okay. In the bottom of the page, you will shortly see the your load time, finish time, everything. Okay. If you see here, it says 9.67 seconds, the load. Okay. Uh, don't worry about the rest of the other things. I'll come back to you later when we go to look into the client side performance later. For now, for our current analysis, just look into the load time. Load time is 9.67. The bottommost right hand side corner, you see that load is 9.67. Okay. When I click login, the request went to your server processed your request, and it has sent the response back, right? For this end to end, right, it has taken 9.67. Okay. So when we do this login, right? First time we got 9.67. Before even going to any other analysis, just make sure that you're consistently whether you're getting this number or not. Okay. Maybe the once you start your server, when you do this activity for the first time, the response time might be high, right? So just do 3, 4, 5, 6 times to make sure that you get this response time consistently. We don't want say one time it is 15 seconds, one time it is 3 seconds, one time it is 20 seconds, one time it is 2 seconds. No, we should not have this variation. This variation could be because of maybe in your laptop your network bandwidth is very low, or you have opened too many tabs, Chrome tabs, right? Your machine should be very clean. Okay. Ideally this analysis you should not do it in your laptop. When I say in a project, not in the training, in your project, you should not do it in your workstation or in your laptop, because it might have too many things running in your mission, right? We should have a dedicated mission. Okay. You should have a dedicated mission. In fact, there should be two missions. See, for a performance testing, you might have asked the team to provide you 10 load generators or 20 load generators, right? Similarly, for engineering, you should at least ask two missions. One where you will install all your engineering tools. Okay, will install JVisual VM, JProfiler, Eclipse Mat for your memory analysis, right? A lot of tools you'll be using it. All are very intensive tools. Okay, so all these tools you will install it in one mission. In another mission, you will have your dedicated VM, or dedicated application server, right? You should not use your performance environment or QA environment for your profiling. You should have a single JVM or single instance of Tomcat running in a second mission for your profiling. You will own that profiling mission. You will have access to that Tomcat to start, restart, make configuration changes, look into the logs, deploy it, right? So you should have a developer kind of a mission where you will have this application deployed. So one is for your profiling tools, one is for your application. Okay. So that is again a prerequisite. You should do it in your project. Whenever you're going to be part of the engineering, you have your these two missions for your engineering activity. Okay, fine. So you have to do couple of iterations. Once you do this login, okay, you can do a logout. Okay, and then before doing another login, next login, you go and clear this. Okay, in your developer tool, clear this network log. Okay, and then there is something called disable cache. Okay, always have this disable cache for now. I'll tell you when to switch on, switch off later. But for this analysis, you repeat this as a first time user. Okay, as a first time user means nothing will be stored in your desktop, right? Images, your JavaScripts, nothing will be stored in your laptop. Every time it will go to your server, right? Nothing will be cached. So have this disabled cache turned on. Okay, now do the admin login again and then note down the response time. So until we maybe 3, 4, 5 times, right? You can do it. Now it is 7.82. Earlier it is 9.5. Now it is 7.82. Again, I'll do a logout, clear this, and then do this one more time just to get a pattern, right? It might not be always same. At least a pattern saying, okay, it is between 7 to 9 seconds or 8 to 10 seconds, right? It cannot be 2 seconds one time, 3 seconds one time, and 10 seconds. No, right? So now it is again 7.5. You should get at least a range, right? Plus or minus 1 second or 2 seconds, not too many deviation. If it's too many deviation, then doing this profiling is very difficult. So you should either restart your mission, both your missions, profiling mission as well as your server mission. Might be some other thing going on, or some other virus scans might be going on. You never know, right? You should get a for this analysis. You should get a response time kind of between plus or minus 1 or 2 seconds. I'll just do one more time before we conclude this pattern. Okay. So far it is 977. Yeah, it is again 9 seconds, right? So we can conclude that response time is between 7 to 9. Okay, so, between 7 to 9 seconds, which is high for a single user. 9 seconds is a very high, right? Now, once we get a pattern, then what you do is in the developer tool, okay, look into the various resources. If you see all these resources, your admin login document. This is a document. This is the first HTML document, right? It took 9.17 seconds out of 9.96. Your most of the time is taken for your first HTML document. Right? This is the first request, admin login. Other things are your images, your style sheets, your JavaScripts, which got downloaded after the initial authentication is done. So this admin login took 9.17, and then there is something called waterfall here, right? This is the each are the request name, your status code, domain, size, time, and there's something called waterfall. Okay, so waterfall will tell you, okay, if you mouse over this, right, it has couple of things. One is the request sent. Request sent is 1.38 milliseconds. Within 1.38 milliseconds, request has been sent from your machine to your server, and then waiting for server response. Server took 9.17 seconds to send your first packet of your response. See, your response will be sent in the packets, right? So once the first packet is received by a browser, that is what we call it as a time to first byte. The first byte, right? It will keep on sending it in packets, keep on sending it in the bytes. So that the word time to first byte is your server has received a request, say this time it is login. It would have done the validation whether the user ID and password is correct, and then if it is correct, then it will say that authentication is successful, and it will send you this home page content, right? So the home page content might be 1 MB or 5 MB or 10 MB. The first byte whenever it receives the browser, that is what we call it as a time to first byte. So this time the time to first byte is 9.17. So this time to first byte, mostly, not every time, mostly it will tell that, it will imply that the server has taken this much time to complete the processing. So we cannot conclude, but we can just assume or presume the server has taken most of the time to do this processing. Server side processing has taken more time. Whereas this content download, right? The next one, the content download definition is time taken for the first byte till the last byte. Server has completed the processing. It has sent the first byte in 9.17 seconds, and then to send the complete all the packets, right? The difference between first byte and the last byte is your download time. That is why for normally for your images, for your other content, right, like your JavaScript or for your style sheet, for example, your download time might be little high. For example, if I go to this admin1.jpg, if I mouse over, right, there, instead of time to first byte, you might see download time is a little bit high. Yeah, if you see here, right, you're waiting for server response. Time to first byte is 36.12 milliseconds, but your download took 272 milliseconds, right? Because it is an image. So the server will not do any logic for processing the image, right? So it will send the first byte immediately. The request came for admin1.jpg. It has sent that immediately in 136 milliseconds. But to download the entire 1 MB or 2 MB of images, it took 272 milliseconds, right? So in general, you will, this is how you see the uh, pattern, right? For your documents, for your services, xhr calls, there is something called xhr calls, right? These are all dynamic response, right? So most of your documents and your xhr your json calls, dynamic calls, it will, the time to first byte will be more, download time will be very less. Whereas for your images, for your media, for your JavaScripts, right? It will be other way around. Your time to first byte will be less, whereas your content download time will be little bit high comparatively. Okay, fine. Now coming back to your our analysis, right? Now admin login, your time to first byte is high, right? So we can presume that yes, something is going on with the server which is taking more time. Now to confirm that, okay, you have to go to your log. Okay, you go to your Tomcat folder, Tomcat where your application is running. Okay, there go to the log. Okay, go to the access log. Okay, open this. Okay, so the access log, if you come down, the last entry, right? You have to check for login. If you see here, admin login, come down to the end, you will see it here. This entry. Okay. This entry says slash admin login. It took 9168 seconds. Okay. See, there's a meaning for everything here. I'll talk about that tomorrow at the beginning. Okay, how to enable this proper logging in Tomcat. What are these? How this will get listed in the log file, right? I'll talk about that tomorrow when we start it, right? But if you see this log file, it says that admin login took 9168 seconds. Okay, at 21:26. That's the last entry, right? We did this last entry at 9:26 p.m. Okay, it is 9168. So, which is coinciding with whatever we see it here. What we see here is it is 9.17 is what your browser says. What your server says is your 9.9000 milliseconds, right? Which is equivalent to 9.168 second, right? It is represented in milliseconds here. So yes, my server also says that response time is high at the server side only, right? Tomcat says that for completing this login transaction, it took 9168. Okay, we will continue this analysis further tomorrow. Okay, we just started with two steps, right? We just validated this in your browser, and then we also confirm that yes, response time is high at the log as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is what we did, right? We validated the browser side load time. We checked which resource is taking more time. We checked the time to first byte and load time, download time, and then we verify that with the access log as well for the response time. Okay, we will continue with 5, 6, 7 tomorrow, and I'll also probably tell you how to enable this access log in a proper way so that you will get the response time available in this log file, right? You need to probably make few changes in the Tomcat so that you will get the proper response time appearing in the log. Okay, yeah, we'll continue with these things tomorrow, guys. Okay, if possible, whoever got registered and made payment, you would have got access to my folder. Download Tomcat, download the war file, install it, and have the library application up and running so that you can practice it tomorrow, day after, whenever you get time. Okay, whoever not registered, if you wanted to register, make the payment, reach out to Kumar sir. Okay, um, or the WhatsApp itself. There are admins, WhatsApp admins. You can reach out to them for the payment. Okay, if you have any questions, you can still probably call me tomorrow as well before the session starts. If you have any questions, clarifications, if you want to understand whether it is relevant or not for you, whoever wanted to register, right? You can also probably connect with me offline. Okay, yeah, guys. Well, I'll stop it here. Is there any questions before we wind up today, guys? And one more thing is, probably from tomorrow we will have between 8:30 to 10. It will be 1.5 hours for tomorrow, and then starting next weekend it will be a full-fledged 2 hours. Okay, yeah. And as we said before as well, every day's video will be made available the next day. Okay, and these videos are going to be there forever. There's no time limit, right? Once you get the videos, you will have this video access forever.
So I have a question though.
Yeah, please go ahead.
So you say you need to set up two machines, right? So are you gonna help us? Are we gonna create two VMs for this practice or what?
No, not for the practice, right? So for the practice, you can do it everything in the laptop.
Oh, okay, okay,
Okay.
okay.
So in the laptop, you can install the tools. You can have this Tomcat. What I'm saying is in the project, right?
Oh, okay, okay.
We have to provide that prerequisite to the project team, so that you get those missions well ahead, so that you can go and do all this proper
Okay.
analysis. Otherwise, what will happen is if you start using your actual testing environment for your profiling, even other people will use it. So you will not be able to go and understand whether it is your request or their request. If there are 10, 20 people accessing that QA environment, it is not a single user analysis, right? So you need a dedicated machine for your application. And also,
Okay.
you cannot use your own VMs or workstation for installing all this JProfiler kind of a tool, because it's very intensive. So we don't want your Outlook or Teams or other softwares to intervene with your profiling tool. So for your project, you need a two missions.
Okay. Got it.